Hey guys, in this video we're going to be starting to show basically all the possible attachments in, well, place of the only showing the components, which is what we have now. So in the last video we left off pretty much here, where we can see we have our sights here, muzzle devices here, and forward grips here. So it's just showing basically the components that we have in the firearm, so the sight, muzzle, and the forward grips. Now we want to set it up to where we can actually see the possible attachments that can go, on each slot. So what I want to do here is kind of, mostly I want to be able to hit and be able to use my mouse. So like when we open up the widget, I want to be able to click on stuff. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and just be kind of lazy and get the player controller at index 0 and set show mouse cursor. Set that to true, and we want to set the input mode. And for this case, we are just going to set it to UI only. And I'm not going to bother with anything else. So let's just confirm. So I hit I, and I can click. So you can see now we print out, which attachment component we are clicking on. And that'll be through just this. So we have all that. So if the attachment component is valid, so we're just going to search for is valid. What do we want to do? Well, main thing being, because we were doing this in the event graph, the attachment manager system has the attachment loading system, so to speak, has two ways of pretty much handling loading of these possible assets. Because remember, they are data asset driven. So what those can be are, if we go through and we search for get possible attachments, you can see we get an array. We're going to run a for each loop on that array. And if I break the array element, you can see here we have a soft class reference. Now that is basically it's like a path to the class. It's not like the actual class, so it's not already being loaded into memory. So if I drag off of this and search for load, you can see we have an asynchronous load and a load class asset blocking. In this case, we're going to do this asynchronously, so that way we don't have to worry about, while it's loading the asset, of any sort of hitching or anything like that. And then that simply gives us the actual class that this holds a path to. So that's kind of the philosophy of what we're going for. So in this case, we want to go ahead and pretty much do the same thing that's in our attachment component. So we're going to create a new widget of user widget, name it w_attachment, and same deal. We're going to give this a button, and we're going to drag an image on the button. Make it fill it like so. And we're going to name this one I guess just image. Can't really think of another name. Same thing for the button. We're going to do b_attachment. Go ahead and give an on click for the button, delete the tick, and delete the pre-construct. And now we need to think of what do we want to take in. So first thing that we can take in is going to simply be just an object. So for example, what this returns, where I'm at. So you can see this is an object class reference. So we can just make this turn an object, which I'm pretty sure is a blueprint type So we're take in the class reference of an object, make it instance editable and expose it on spawn. So that way, kind of idea is we can get class defaults like so, if we want to be able to get something specific from it. Now, we're going to go ahead and name this to, I guess, attachment, or attachment class is probably a better name. And that is going to be set when we do create widget. So we're going to search for create widget, and we're going to do this on completed, so that way it's fully loaded. And let's see. Oh, derp. This one's going to be the type w_attachment. Awesome, I got two of them. So it's not that one. That one? Yeah, it's that one. We can just plug the class right in like so. Then once we do that, remember we have our second vertical box here. So VB_possible attachments. We can just grab that guy and add a child to a vertical box and plug it right in. So now if I hit play, I press I. If I click on sites, you can see we have 2 here, muzzle devices, we have 3, so on and so on, but it's going to keep expanding as I click. And the reason for that is we need to clear this out of all children before anything really happens. So I'll run to here, and we're just going to do this at the start. So clear children. Guess I really didn't need to move it out that far. Okay, so we press play. Sites, we got 2. Muzzle devices, we got 1. And forward grips, we got 1. So for sites, the 2 sites we have, go to the tutorial sites. Those are going to be the red dot and the magnified optic. So now we have basically, well, our sites, well, our different attachments appearing. So kind of like so. Relatively straightforward. We are going to definitely need to clean this up, as we are going to want to, well, obviously an image. Actually, we can just I can show you for a reference. Give this the image of, do I have any thumbnails? Yeah, I do. So we'll just grab one of the vertical grip. So like that. It's going to look very ugly and stretched. Like that. Kind of opposite of what you're probably thinking. But if I were to widen this out, it would fit. But if I go through and in the attachment, if I were to set the image in here, it would not look like this because it would not be stretching it. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to set up a size box, and pretty much, again, this can be the next video, we're going to wrap it around it. So that way the image here will not explode up like it is, because these images are actually squares. So if I go to the image, we can see its resolution of, where's it at? 512 by 512 for its dimensions. So we're going to make sure we do that. And yeah, we're going to continue this in the next video. So I will see you then.